Spody Park. Yeah, exactly. Boy, I mean, again, with the role play and stuff, you could, emote that somebody, something's touching your shoulder and it scares somebody and that kind of stuff. And it might not be as exciting as if it was actually doing it, but I like the idea behind the whole thing. I mean, even like this, the ride doesn't actually work, um, but it's a cute concept. I mean, who wouldn't want to try and squeeze in here? You can actually sit on it and take a screenshot and say, "Wee, I was riding on the little merry-go-round thing that this is." So yeah. Okay, next plot is, I'm gonna say this wrong, Yorui Chi, I think. I'm not even positive that this one's actually done, but I thought it was too cute to pass up. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm hoping I catch it all, but it's called Orin Euphoria, and right off the bat, you're kind of inside, uh, like you're underneath the roots of a tree, and it's kind of boxed in with rocks and stuff, and you can see that there's some water here, and you have to go through this little tunnel, and this is that hollow log, the mossy log, I think. And you come out into this really elaborate, interconnected little village. Um, they do use the new Protostar Insta Hills for a lot of it to get a lot of elevation and changes so that they can have a lot of water areas. So there's a whole little system here. Um, because of the hills and how they work, if they did happen to have um, the clutter of the plot, the ground showing, that doesn't reflect on the insta hills. You just get the smooth grass. So you'll see that in some places they've planted flowers to kind of break up the smoothness of these little hills. Um, but yeah, definitely, again, Orin themed heavy. So let's get a shot of the entrance itself. You can see it's pretty much covered up by that large tree, and it actually behaves as another little platform area up there. And then that just leads to the entrance to the tunnel. So where to start? I think we'll go over here. So you can see there's this huge amount of obsidian stones um, boxed in over here. There's a nice huge waterfall here using some of the, I think it's the gray stones as well for some of this. Most of the canopied areas where the walkways are is rope bridges and boardwalk pieces. Let's see. I don't think there's anything particularly noteworthy on this side except this little gazebo thing here. I don't think it's necessarily meant to be like a bedroom, but just maybe a place that someone could come and nap uh, for the day. Just a dome, curved walls, and pillars, Orin pillars. Just a very simple little thing, topped with a little bit of flowers. Again, the sad thing about these Orin tents is you actually can't go inside them. There's collision galore. But again, the water's pretty deep. You can see it goes pretty deep. Of course, this kind of ruins the look of it when you go down in the water, but to that end, they've built up these little platforms here. It's 2x4s and pillars mostly to gain access to this little caved in area. I say caved in, that doesn't make sense, but this cave area that they've made with those obsidian stones. This is why I say I'm not sure that this is completely finished. Maybe it's a place where they would come and decorate it only at certain times of the year for like a little party or a gathering. But you can see they've made it into like a little, three little sections, two small ones and a large one. So who knows what might go on here. Maybe this is a black market area. Maybe it's where they come and do, I don't know, orange sacrifices. I have no idea. But it just gives you an idea of what it looks like before they actually dress it up. Maybe you come back later in person and they've actually added to it and you go, huh, I never would have thought of putting that here. You know, right now it's just full of possibility, you know, different things that you could put in here. Maybe this becomes a little nightclub. Um, or maybe it's a meeting room for the elders, or an actual guild hall of some sort. Who knows? But I like finding little places like this and thinking, what would I do there? You know, what could I possibly come up with that would make sense? So, yeah. Okay, so the few times that I've been here, the only way I have figured out how to access the rest of the plot is by going around on this side. Again, you have one of those little, I don't know, little cozies. You can see they've used some of the newer spring decor grasses and flowers to kind of dress it up. And those are some of those canary flowers. I think those come from the WildStar vendor. This one's dressed up with some of the habanero blooms. So it's a little different. You know, it's basically the same design of the building, but they've changed it up, the decorations up a little bit. You can see the new steam gliders over there. Everyone's got to have a carrot plushie on their plot. That's like almost a mandatory thing. Got to have me on there. This is an example of using those blue pod planters. Just hide the planter itself, and then you get a little nice little patch of flowers, a little bit of dirt showing. The orange gondola is super huge. Same way with this, is super huge. But can get a better look at some of how they've built. You can see a lot of stones, a lot of thorny logs for this bit here. Sandstones over here. Gray stones for this part. Little shroomy gathering place. To worship the giant shroom? I don't know. I think there's actually some available somewhere else, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was part of the spring decor pack or not. Again, trying to get some shots, overall shots of this place. Again, it takes a lot of planning to get this all worked out just right. So you go through the waterfall here and you come out on the other side. Again, lots of stones for these rock, you know, the stairways here. Got a little bit of overgrowth coming over the entrance there. A little bit better shot of this. And then you come into this little, it's like a lot village, but they live in the trees. Now, I never would have thought of putting those things in trees, but it works really well. And I think they're actually using the massive umbrella trees like massive umbrella trees, and then putting in these little lop huts as if they're little tree villages. I don't know what the purpose of this is for. I guess this is, you know, maybe it's a treasure pile, but maybe it's the little Buzzbing's honey pile kind of thing. I'm not quite sure on that, but certainly an interesting little deal. So here's like some vendors, little lot vendors. But I love the idea of this little tree village thing going on. It's just, I never would have thought of putting that in there like that. Okay, so here's another shot of where we're headed. We're getting there. It's just kind of, they kind of zigzag you around. That's where we come out. And you have to go through another tree trunk. and it pops you out here. So we're at the base of this structure now, or sort of. Come down the steps. I imagine there's probably ideas for this, but as you'll notice, all of the detail, all of the stones that they've been using to put everything together, I imagine they're probably getting close to their cap, which is usually why a lot of people will stop building, because they just run out of space. So here's part of some more river works. This is on the upper level. So you have the little gondola, and it's even got a little Chua there. He's the one that mans the gondola. Yeah, Fletty, I'm seeing more and more people using them as the actual tree. With the introduction of the Snowy Hill being a much cheaper version, I think people are more inclined to use them as the actual tree now than they used to be. Before, they were so precious because of how they behaved, but I think now folks are a little bit more relaxed on that. So here we come to a little water, not water park, but a little water beach scene kind of thing. Got some of those fireworks animations come out. I have no idea which one it is. A little bit of the rainbow thing going on as well. Waterfalls, gray stones, winding rivers, the purple rock arch here. But you can see some of the new beach decor, the rolled up mats, the regular laid out towels, the beach balls there. They even used the Barbie and the cooling thing as well. Back here, we have a little bar and snack area. Got a little lot vendor floating in there. Good way to display your anniversary cupcakes. It's just, I like the way the bar is set up. It's not necessarily, character friendly because you kind of float between the gaps there. Maybe if it was a little bit larger, it would be suitable for someone actually standing back there and not look like they're levitating. But it's just, again, those cylinders being replicated to make that thickness for the bar. A lot of people have been using that. It's a clever idea. Again, boardwalk pieces, rope bridges. There's a gator in the water as well. He doesn't look too scary though. Kind of looks a little fluffy and friendly. Again, the little umbrella here that's part of that decor set. And then again, I like how they've played on the little holes that are actually built into the purple rock arch and made it so that the water is coming out of that. And then same way here, they built this one to kind of come out that little entrance, made it a little stair step, kind of a waterfall. Hover park pieces, using some of those new candles, the Ice Frost and the Frost Forged versions, and the new drinks ones with the little fruit pieces on them. I still have yet to use my stuff. I bought one set, I think it's on Turnip's plot, and I still have yet to put them out. Here's the massage table. They actually have an NPC laid out. I think a lot of people would love if they add some more of these NPC decor packs that have all of the races as choices instead of just the Draken, but there you go. So here we come to the wooden lodge building structure thing. You can see there's bridges to different sections, and those are all accessed from this particular building. Lots of thorny logs. I don't know if it's individual logs or if it's the group of logs that they've just managed to pile in. Maybe it's a combination of the two. Lots of overgrowth to cover up patches probably where they didn't want things showing, or just to add color and things like these flower patches here. Very roomy, you can tell just by the size. I mean, look how huge this place looks and compared to my little character here. So this is like the oriental part. They've got a lot of the new um, uh, exotic decor displayed here. Got a nice little shot of the mountains in the distance there. Again, when working with the boardwalk pieces, you have to contend with all those metal attachments. I would have loved if we had gotten some of the boardwalk pieces without the metal brackets. That would have been so much better, I think, in my personal opinion. But yeah, if you use them for construction, like when I made the pirate boathouse, that was the pain in the rear to get it to work so that I could use them as roofing, yet still be able to get it inside there, and you just kind of have to work around it. So it's a shame that they are there and it's kind of an intrusion into the space, but there's just no getting around it if that's what you're using as a building material. So keep that in mind. Figure out ways to kind of cover it up and hide it. Here's a nice little display just using various crystals as a coloring. They've added water inside so that it looks like this crystal is crying into this little pool. Yep, this is WildStar. It's WildStar's housing. We have this little display here, another waterfall type of thing. They've chose to kind of decorate this a little differently, using some of the colored glass, and it looks like they've layered it up quite a bit to kind of pronounce those colors, using tiered rocks, waterfalls, some accents like the overgrowth and the statue and the habanero blooms. But it's a really interesting little arrangement. Over here we have the TV and couch lounge area. Again, they're using that, it's the hover part piece that's open-ended, so it's like the half pipe, I think, and they're just boxing it in instead of using wooden bits to box it in. They kind of brighten it up by bringing in the glass. Yeah, this is not the channel to come if you're looking for action. We don't do raids or dungeoning or anything. It's purely housing for this channel. Um, Poi could probably link you a couple of streamers that actually would provide the more action-packed footage that you're seeking, if that is what interests you. Here's another display. This one's just using grass, a little bit of a river, and it's kind of like a terrarium almost because it's got the little critter in there. Okay, let's go down this way, I guess. So again, get a sneak peek of some of the bits we'll be visiting. I suspect this is like where they would maybe come and land to drop people off. I'm not sure. Maybe that's up above. Again, lots of thorny logs, a few bits of archways and 2x4s. This is another part that kind of feels a little empty. Again, there may be plans for it, but I love the little view that you get from here. This is where the little lop tree village is over on this side here. You can see the tops of the trees and the base of that little island outcropping that's coming up soon. No, this is a random player tour. Wednesdays we do house tours of other people's stuff. If you want to see my stuff, you can come join us any other day of the week. But yeah, uh, I figure folks get enough of my stuff the rest of the time that other people's needs to have a little bit of a showing off. So this is what's in the bunker house. Again, I don't know if there's more plans for this one. It looks more like a storage space for some of their Arctera decor, and they just kind of arranged it nicely. Um, I don't know if it maybe is representative of something in specific, but you can like see like they've laid out the crystals nicely. Got this like little altar kind of thing going on. They've inset the skull with like these glowing frost skulls. This one here, using that as the entranceway. I'm sure there's probably plans for it, but again, it just seems a little unfinished for whatever reason. So this is actually beneath that thorny log structure. They've just built it around so that you can come down inside it. This is one good way to kind of hide the hatch house. They didn't necessarily have to give access to it, but later down the road, maybe they'll decide to change up the theme of it and bring a little bit more to it. So off we go around this way. Come up into the upper levels. Again, I get the feeling that there's probably more room for other things, but you can see a little bit better view of the lounge area that we just come from. I like these little buildings. These, again, maybe they intended to put some pillars to behave as like little gazebos for this, but maybe it's just they just hover for whatever reason. Yeah, that's what I suspect, Zeddy. Because this looks like they were intending to add the pillars and such, and they've just run out of space, which is a shame. I think a lot of builders run into that problem, especially on the exterior, because there's just so much that you could add or want to add, and you just literally can't because of the decor limit space, especially if you're doing any amount of customizing. Like, I mean, just look at the mountainous structures that they've been building with the rocks. Like over here, you can see how elaborate that is. That's a lot of decor to build that up. Okay, this one, that's one of those Falcon braziers, I think. Maybe this could be turned into like where they come and grill things, or this is a place where they come and say, okay, such and such has been promoted to this rank in the guild, or maybe it's a ceremony, like a rite of passage thing. They come and this is where they lounge for it. Over here seems to be like the community kitchen, where they've got the sink. Notice they're using the Dominion shelf or the Imperium shelf as both the counter and the water. It's one way to get away with both. Interesting use of that. A double oven here with different prep for foodstuffs. The little big oven here. Well, I guess that's the stovetop, and these are the ovens here. So you got the pig on a spit kind of thing going. Basically just looks like suitcases for these parts here. Two walls, the pig on a spit kind of thing, and then the Dominion scanner in the back to make it look like a heated oven kind of thing. The red moon vent for the ventilation. Just a different idea of how to do it. Here's a little lounge place. Now this is the area that kind of clashes, in my opinion, with the rest of the plot. This is very mechanical looking. It looks almost like it'd be more fitting like underground. It seems kind of weird. But then it brings you up to this lovely part of the house where you actually can go out here. Here we're up at the top, the upmost level. Do I see it weird? I don't know. Maybe I do. So here's a little one of the island things that we saw from below. It kind of has an alien feel, almost Stargate-ish. They've got these pyramid floaty bits. I don't know if those are supposed to be like alien ships or just decoration. I have no idea. But they have this like grand chair and then his little concubines or something. Yeah, I agree with Poi. Uh, I think it would be take some really heavy optimization to get them to up it because from what I understand, for those of us that already max our plots out at 2500 on the exterior, there are folks that already have trouble with crashing. Um, oh, did I? I didn't even notice that. Well, at least I entertain. But yeah, I think it's a matter of, well, that's why I assume there's like some weird rendering issues that we have where things kind of disappear at a certain distance. Because, remember in the past they talked about setting up neighborhoods and that they be actually connected in such a way that you could just walk from plot to plot. From the ones that are joined, and I think they were planning on having like up to five in a group. Imagine having that 2,500 multiplied, by five, and having that all load up at the same time. That's why I think the rendering is, become such a thing because, um, you know, logically, if you're at one plot, even though you can see the other one, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you actually aren't rendering until you get closer to it. And that's to alleviate that problem. But I think already they're kind of pushing it. I don't know what optimization they could possibly add that would reduce that stress and strain on folks that have, maybe not the topmost computers to be able to handle it. But yeah, I've heard lots of people crashing. I've crashed myself, so Brazier. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on that, behind the scenes that we probably don't even take into consideration. Who knows? It's always something, they set up a system and it's only in hindsight that they think, I should have done it this way and it would have worked more smoothly or better in this situation. And it's harder to go back and change all of that once it's already in place. So I feel for them. I appreciate that, keep in mind we started out with 300 as our limit. So we've come a long way. It's just we're kind of greedy. We want more and more and more. Is it Brazier? I don't know. It's Brazier. It sounds right to me. Anyway, this is where they showed off some of the new Macari decor. There's the Macari Brazier, the tactical table, some of the pillars, and of course the throne there. Using the Dominion comfy beds as like their little lounge chairs, granite triangles and such for the little triangle, the pyramid bits. I think that's a Dominion style bunker. This is one of those so far. This is what reminds me of like what is this? Stargate because of this thing here, the little portal. Basically, I think that's a so well, and a lot of the Dominion emblems as well. Some of the Taurine swords in set. We've seen some folks kind of fill those grooves in with water, which is kind of neat. This here is two of those taurine heads. Probably could see that better from this side if I had been looking. There we go. So this is, again, the upper floor. So we see some different kinds of decorations. It took me a while to figure out what these might be, but these are the backs of one of the many animal busts that we have. All of them pretty much have the same shaped uh, like plaque that they're mounted on. I say all of them, most of them. So it's probably just pick one and do it, but they've arranged them in like these little flower designs and using pillows and such to kind of make it like a giant wooden flower, which is kind of cute. And then adding some on the bottoms as little seats. They did the same thing here. It's a nice dark wood, so if you're looking for a darker wood as opposed to some of the others and just wanting to come up with something different, this is a good option. That's true, Poi. I really think they just weren't anticipating what all we might do with their with the tools they've given us. You know, they stressed that it was, you know, pretty much um, freestyle building. You know, it's not like the garrisons in World of Warcraft where you have specific places where specific things go, and it's minimized as to what you can actually customize. You know. Um, yes, we have the plugs where certain types of fab kits go, but you're not required to use them, and you can you know, modify a lot of them. Um, and they've really relaxed on how many we can modify. So I think they just didn't anticipate just how crazy we would get. I mean, who in their right mind would build, you know, their own wooden house out of like hundreds and hundreds of 2x4s? I think most people wouldn't bother, but some of us have, and that can put a strain on the decor count we had. And just imagine the things that we did when we were limited with 300, and now that we have 2,500 on the outside is just like bananas. Well, yeah, literally, what you can put together. So here's a nice little fireplace. Again, this is an example of where we have that nice bright blue hologram fireplace from the Exiles where we cover it up. I don't know, there's not too many places that use it as is, but they've covered it up mostly with this overgrowth, which might be a little bit of a fire hazard, but and then topped it with exile domes and curved walls and an archway. And then the mantle shelf itself is one of those Oran shelves. Just makes it nice and pretty and cozy. Again, with the flower, this one's green. And these little bits, it's basically an upside down snowy hill on top of a dome to make it look like these little miniature um, uh, scenes. This one's like a scene of a waterfall. This one's just to show off their little steam glider. And this one is like a little mini house, kind of like a gnome house or something. Just a cute little thing. And then here we have more use of the exotic decor, the dividers this time. And this is where the bathroom is. And they had fun with it as well, using one of the exotic decor tables as a little toilet holder, toilet paper holder. Got a little step stool built in for the sink here. Nice little jacuzzi type of thing going on. Again, lots of Cover part pieces, Hoogles, the Hoogles crying out the waterfall there. Windy rivers for the interior of the pool. The shower is basically just one of those graded floor panels that we love so much as the drain, and then a very rudimentary shower kind of contraption here. Just domes and curved walls. The toilet, again, very basic, but there's no mistaking what it's supposed to be. There's a hollow dome, two of them. One's Orin on the interior, and then Exile on the outside, and then solid domes for the top part, with a little drain in the bottom. Super easy. Yeah, even just, well, it's like, you know, most of my stuff I build straight off of the housing vendor, but like the Totoro painting I did, almost all of it was strictly housing vendor stuff. But that little single painting alone, I think, aside from the posts that I ended up crafting for the eyes that I changed out and stuff, um, it was like 75 gold, I think. So imagine, that's just one painting. This panel here, is that what you're talking about? That's from the housing vendor. We've been using that a lot for cabinetry because if you turn it over, it's like a nice kind of a black marbly surface. Hey Root, glad you could join us. Happy to see people coming back. It's nice. Okay, so that's interior of the upper part. Let's see. I know we've got a few more sections on the outside. Oh, I still missed this part here. This is the bedroom. Here again, it's kind of reminiscent of that Stargate stuff, but it's like Orany nature. It almost looks like the one where you come in from Evergrove. It's reminiscent of that. Where the queen says go through and I'll meet you on the other side or whatever. Notice the bed is again the backs of those busts, pillows for the mattress and pillow for the pillow. I like the gondola being used as like a hammock kind of deal. I don't think anyone's thought about using that way before. Not that I've seen anyway. Okay, so back down we go. Like I said, this part here just seems a little off. Everything else is all orany and naturey and wooden and green, and this seems misplaced. I don't know why, but it seems very cold and stuff. Okay, so we're going to walk across one of the bridges now. Head on over to wherever it may take us. Again, here's a good shot. This is where we were a second ago. Notice it's a little bit more straight, less loggy on the upper part. All built around one of these mangrove trees. Because remember, the roots of it is what's surrounding the bunker house, which is at the bottom, way bottom. So this is, if I remember right, the one that's right above the entrance. This is the one that was topping the entrance part. It just leads to a little bit of a little cozy spot. You can come take a nap, read a book, chat with a friend. Oh, we're in the forbidden zone. I want to get ported out. The Forbidden Zone. Yeah, most of this is housing vendor stuff. Overgrowth, the boardwalks, the rope bridges, the stones. Now, things like this, the datascape window, that's actually from the renowned vendor in the city. And you have to have unlocked it through rating, I believe. So this is a little outcropping, again, using a lot of the stones, but notice they put this in a little bit of a design. It's almost like a sun design. And again, using the, I believe this one is actually using one of the, it's either a combination of an upside down umbrella tree or one of the insta hills, because I don't see the white puffs of smoke that you would usually see if it's a snowy hill. But this is where they chose to show off all of their little critters that they've collected. So they got one of the new haystacks, and then again this little waterfall, and they've tried to make it look like the animals are drinking at the pool. Yeah, and just think, they're not using a whole bunch of them, but that adds up really quick. It was like when we made Tangela yesterday, that little Morrow piece, I think that was 5 gold. And I don't know how many pieces they end up using it on those two Pokemon, but it adds up really fast. And for me, I don't really pay attention. I just start using whatever I need to use. As long as it's from the housing vendor thing, I just use it. I don't even watch what I'm spending. About the only exception is when it comes to renown stuff, because sometimes I do run out of renown and have to be kind of watchful. But yeah, it can add up really fast. So even if you're just building strictly off of the housing vendor, it can, like, it depends on how customized you go, how many pieces you're using, and which pieces. Because even like the 10 silver stuff can add up pretty rapidly as well. Okay, so I think there's a couple of more um, areas. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one here. Are they that expensive? Wow, 10 gold a piece. So this is another bridgeway from this little wooden structure, like multi-layered house. You come up and you go to this little pool. Again, this is a lot of rocks to be able to build this up nicely. It's one way for them to display, their datascape windows, some of their Elden materials. These come from the Alpha Sanctum. Once you run that, you unlock those decor. I think this is just layered glass. I think I really couldn't be for sure. I don't think it's the bottom of any cup or something because one, this is a hovering island piece if I remember right, so they don't have a lot of space to hide it, so I'm pretty sure that's just layered glass. Again, the layered glass, if you lay down a glass piece, it's really hard to see that it's even there, but if you layer it up a bit, it'll brighten up. In fact, if you go up to 25 layers, it's like a solid white. Which will be good for those that are going to be planning some Winterfest type things. If you're wanting some nice smooth white for like a skating rink or something like that, that will work really good. Yes, plat is platinum. It's basically one plat is 100 gold. So if we say, like, say the bunker house, a lot of beginner builders want that straight away, but that costs 3 plats. So that's basically 300 gold for the bunker house. So that's a pretty steep expense for a new player. Okay, I'm trying to see, did we get everywhere? I think so. Did I close that door? I guess I did. Felt a little weird. I thought maybe somebody was following me around. Okay, so I think that's it. So that's Yorui cheese or in Euphoria. A really fun plot, a lot of nice ideas. I mean, yeah, for some it might be kind of a jumbled kind of theme. It doesn't follow any one particular, it's like little sections with different types of styles of materials and uses. But you know, if you're looking for some interesting ideas that you might can apply to your own plot, this is again, most of these, if not all of these houses that we visit are good examples of where to come and pick up some ideas. So yeah, last place for today is Optimus Prime Star's plot called Cybertron, I believe. We have a lot of mechanical-oriented builders that love to work on ships, megabots, space stations, that kind of thing. Anything mechanical, vehicles, all kinds of things. And this is another example. Yes, there are some actual NPC bots and things, but as you can see, they've actually managed to create their own mechanical beasties and such. So let's try and go through this and see if we can figure out what all they've done and how they did it. Let me try and get a good view of this fella here. So like here's your robot dino. I guess this is what, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah, Bucky should be here. Yeah, it would. And for all I know, it maybe is an alt of his. There's, I know there's at least 2 or 3 on in our circle, our housing circle, that are very fixated on mechanical bits. So this is the Rex guy. It looks like the utility crates are being used for most of his head. They're just upside down. And the only reason I can kind of identify that is because the little legs on the crate. Um, you can see they've got a little emblem on him. For the teeth, it looks like, can't really get a good shot of his face. Let me see if I can crawl up on top of him. Maybe that'll work. His tail is clearly uh, airtight containers, a little dome for the end here. Yeah, these are the utility crates to make it look like those spiny bits, and then cylinders for the body. Triangle pieces for his teeth. See how the inside, his mouth looks like he's been eating on tools and stuff, because that's the inside of those crates. It looks like a vent tank here in his throat to make it look like it's shooting out some flames. And of course, I think that's the burning track that he's using for that. And the eyes, again, those are just utility crates. The end of it has that little bit of light that shows up. It looks really good because it looks like he's angry. Night, Zodi. Thanks for joining us. Is it Marshall's? I wasn't sure. You two are so much alike and enjoying the mechanical stuffs. But glad you could join us, Bucky. His hands, the little claw bits, those are reinforced barriers. And then I think it's one of the tanks, yeah, the propane tank, I think. And then some tubes and curved tubes for the rest of the arm. His little claw arms. For his hind legs, those look to be the skinny waisted barrel tops inserted into the airtight containers to make it look like the joints for his legs. And then again, the reinforced walls, barriers for that bit. And then this part here, those are the corrugated containers, the metal containers. Very cleverly done. I like that a lot. This part here on his belly, if I can get my camera to turn around right, that's just a detonator gadget thing, I think. Notice the whole building area itself, even the entrance is mostly Cassian domes and cylinders and archways and stuff. Looks like almost an R2-D2 head sticking out. Gotta have them welders working on stuff. Yeah, likewise. Again, I'm not very mechanically inclined. Not that these are like super mechanical, but they look robotic, is what it is. I could probably put together something that might look like an animal thing. I mean, I'm kind of doing that with the Pokemon already, but to try and make it look like this like robotic metal bot, I couldn't do that. But here's like, what is it called? Is it a Stegosaurus or something? It's the one with the spiky bits. The tail spikes are just swords. And then the ones along the spine, the back, are of course the warning signs. Again, lots of airtight containers. Those are all craftable, so it's a very something you could get a hold of relatively easy. For his legs, it's pretty much the same, except they also have the ship hand lockers as part of those. Same way here. Look at his head. Again, it's using a combination of those utility crates and foreign floors, bottles for the eyes. It's the medium bottle, I think, and then the skinny waisted barrel for the little joints on the side. Actually, those might be the silver keg. Maybe that as well. This really works nicely for their faces. It has that, you know, bolted look, even though it's really just the legs of the crates. They're small and stubby enough. They just look like little bolted bits. Awesome. I love the pose as well. I mean, it just. So over here we have, what's this one? The Triceratops. I can talk. The Stegosaurus is called Snarl. They all have names, I take it? We already saw the Rex. So this one is using a few different pieces than the others. This one's got suitcases for his little crown bit, spiked with the triangle pieces. The red bits on the tips of his horn, those are the new fireworks. I believe it's called the Red Rocket. It's actually a white body and then the red tip on there. Again, utility crates, bottle bottoms, lots and lots of those airtight containers, reinforced barriers, ship hand lockers, and cylinders. Amazing stuff. I mean, who wouldn't want one of these on their plot for protection? Over here we have, what's this called? Triceratops is called slag. Oh, they're from a specific Transformers 80s cartoon series. Well, see, I'm kind of out of the loop on that. Didn't really get into that. Dinobots. What's this one? I don't know what this one is. It's the plant eater. That's all I know. Again, lots of the same materials, just used in different configurations, like around the waist this time. Look at the detail, just the jaw hinge and the eyes and the little nubbin on the head there. This one is sludge. I'm so not aware of that show. So yeah, if you're into the 80s stuff, that's what it is. What is this piece here? Is that just the bottom of those ship hand lockers? I never noticed how golden those were. I'm just running all over his dinos here. These here are some of those new lamps, I think. Got them in all the corners, it looks like. Brontosaurus, that's it. Thank you, Floody. Mr. Flood. I used to have a teacher named Flood, Mrs. Flood. Her daughter was kind of psycho. She talked to the moon. But she was one of my favorite instructors, teachers. It was like in 6th grade. God, I haven't thought about her in years, but yeah, her name was Mrs. Flood. Was that your mom? Oh, I'm glad. Sorry about that. Boy, you just have so much trouble with Twitch. I think it's upset because I promoted you to moderator. So this is, I guess, one of the regular little mechabot dudes. I don't know. I'm just not so informed on this stuff. It looks like suitcases for some of his fingers. I see domes, cylinders, reinforced barriers, tires. I'm sure this dude has a specific name. His little wings out here, I guess this is one of those that turns into a car because these look like car doors. Is this one of the Autobots? Ironhide, is that what you said? I like his little helmet part. It's just Cassian tubes and domes and stuff, and then he's got like, it's really hard to see. Looks like different bits of like curved wall to kind of make up that little like wire face mask he's got going on. Bottles for his eyes. Bottles and looks like pop cans, the beer cans in there. Little bits of the utility crates, the corrugated containers. Another piece of glass. That's those graded floor panels for part of that. A lot of attention to detail. Here's another one. What's this one? Is this supposed to be Bumblebee? He's kind of yellow. That's the only yellow one I know of. Well, you never know. It's a small world. I'm guessing this is Bumblebee. That's about the only Autobot I think I know the name of, other than Optimus Prime. But So this one looks like he's made of mostly yellow books. A little bit of reinforced walls and tires and things. Again, with the suitcases for the fingers. Suitcases there. Looks like the beer cans here as well. This looks like, what is that? That's the Chewa desk. It's the bottom of it, I think. Yeah, that's the top part here. Looks like a couple of them maybe. Ah, so I did guess it right. It is Bumblebee. Woohoo! I knew something. So I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. He's red and got like one eyeball. Looks like a little truck. He turns into a little truck. Again, similar in thought, but different construction. I mean, here it's bottle bottoms. So he's like an emergency vehicle, it looks like. Chua pillows for a lot of the red. Pillows. Chua pillows. Inferno. Okay, so he becomes the fire truck. Gosh. Corrugated containers. I see the graded shelf, suitcase, beer bottles or cans. Let's see, what is that? Ladders there? Oh, okay, yeah, that would be for the truck. Emergency services. Looks like a propane tank for his pelvic area. Windows for the front of the vehicle. And I'm guessing this is supposed to be Optimus Prime himself. Man, he's so tall I can't get, let's see, hold on. Can I like get up there? Just jumped right over that. There we go. So I know this one. This one's Optimus Prime. He turns into a big rig. I know that much. Looks like, again, lots of suitcases, some blue books for some of his coloring, Chewa pillows for the red. His head, that's some clever use of those portable planters there. Looks like some of those big Eldon antennas for some of his little antenna bits. These, I think, are some of those Exile light post things. The yellow bits, those are the beer signs, the octopus one. Corrugated containers, red moon vents, airtight containers. Looks like some kind of engine part there, I'm not sure. Propane tanks, this looks like a bomb for his little arm joint thing. Vent tank and hammer for his little guns on the side. There's so much detail on getting all that sorted. Okay, so is this one the one that's the Jeep guy? What'd you call him? Uh, Hound? So he's made out of mostly garage themed dressers for the green, and then the usual reinforced barriers, suitcases for the fingers, a few of the airtight containers, tires. Looks like beer cans, suitcases, the metal great shelf. Can't see his face really good. Looks like Cassian bits, and then I don't know what all he's using. Probably suitcases and stuff for the face lines. That would be the item I would go with anyway. Like the little windshields, just glass and dragon pillars. Yeah, when you try and put something together like this, and then you look at someone else and you're like, what? Now I don't even want mine. I think most of the rest of the stuff on the outside is fab kits, I think. Might be some other stuff. I don't know if it's really something to do with the series or what, but like this is the bank. But you can see they added like bits. These parts might actually be constructed themselves with Cassian bits and Chua tanks and those new the hologram things. What's over on this side? See, I think this is a fab kit here, but I don't know the name of it. And of course, these things, these little contraptions, these are actually come as they are. The cargo lifters or whatever, those come from logging in X amount of days. You'll get it eventually if you haven't already. This thing, is that a giant gun or a giant ship? I guess it's a ship. And I guess it's a piglet ship that's been blinged up with all this extra stuff. I don't know what parts are actually additions. I mean, because the piglet, even though it's kind of a spaceship house, it also has some modifications that you can buy, kind of like the other houses where they changed the roof or they changed the doorway or whatever. The piglet has some features like that too. So I'm not sure what bits might be just part of the ship and what bits are actually added on. The main thing I'm for certain about is like this part here. That's like tubes, the new streamers, red moon vents, the silver keg, and some of the space chase items. I imagine some of these wingtips and stuff are also space chase, but again, I know there's some bits that you can modify on the piglet that actually comes that way, so I don't know which bits are actually added or not. It looks like they went ahead and used some of the cargo lifters as the base of these as well. Strange bits, I don't know. So you just have to do some comparison because I don't know what wing bits are added or not. I imagine these are added, and maybe this here, maybe? I don't know. Oh, okay, so the one is the power generator and the others are made from scratch. Well, made one and then copied it. That sounds reasonable. I don't know what they're supposed to be though. Maybe it's like this one shows like a baddie. Maybe that's how they kind of locate their enemies that they go and tackle. I don't know if there's actually anything in here, but we're gonna go take a look. And no, it's got a nifty belly. But yeah, who can fuss about that with all this other stuff on the outside? So yeah, definitely a fun place to visit. Again, for those of you that are into the mechanical builds, my hat's off to you because I have absolutely no brain function when it comes to coming up with these mechanical bits. Anything to do with vehicles or robots or space station stuff, that's just kind of out of my league for sure. Yeah, the cargo lifters are from the daily login. I don't remember what day, how many it is. I wonder if I can look that up. Can I look that up? Let me see. Gosh, is that a purple cargo stacker? That was day 260, it looks like. Oof. Yes, you need to start logging in. See, that's one of the reasons why they sneak those in there to encourage you to log in to get those goodies. You know, the what do they call them? The welders. Those aren't too much incentive for me because I've yet to use one, and I've probably collected about three or four. But the cargo lifter and a few other things, it's definitely worth logging in. Even if you don't play, if you just log in and decide maybe you'll play down the road, good to log in. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. This was Optimus Prime Star's Cybertron that we're ending up with. And what a way to end. Some awesome builds, clever ideas. I mean, even if you don't do the robot things, there may be some combination of items that you never would have thought about using. I mean, for example, um, uh, maybe you want something to have like a mechanical arm or something, and you needed something that kind of looks snaky like. Uh, just putting these together, that's interesting. Maybe someone makes a staircase out of it. I don't know. Just fun stuff. But that's the whole point of not just showcasing somebody else's work and giving them a few minutes in the spotlight, but also to help inspire your own ideas uh, and coming up with new combinations of items and how you use them. Again, maybe you don't want to build a robot, but it might be maybe you want to make a toy truck for a child's room or something, and this can kind of inspire that kind of thing. So yeah, I hope you guys had fun. Remember, we do have scheduled maintenance in a bit. It's 4 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. CEST time. Realms will be down for approximately an hour and a half if all things go well. As well, let's see what, I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably about it. Thank you for uh, sending out those messages, boy. And yes, don't forget the CBDC. We will be coming back tomorrow. I'll probably work on a new Pokemon of some sort. If nothing else, we'll visit Turtle's plot to see my progress on the Ketchum house. That thing is turning into a monster. I think last I checked, it was 500 or so pieces. And it's like, no, I don't want to spend that many pieces on a faux house. It's like you can't even go inside it. It's just, you know, putting it together to make it look like a house. I'm spending so much decor on that, so yeah. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for joining. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you can't join us again, at least try and join us for the Wednesday tours. That's probably the most popular broadcast time we have. Did the login servers go? I have no idea. I'm logged in right now, so I couldn't say. But yeah, it's been fun, guys. I appreciate the company. I sincerely appreciate the follows, the tweets, the retweets, the votes, and just your general support. I do this for you guys. It's not just for my pure entertainment, although I could probably do it even if I was here by myself. But it's so much more enjoyable when others are with me and having fun. And yes, Taguzi, one of our lurkers, apparently. Thank you for joining. And anyone else that happened to be watching. And of course, for those of you that are watching as it's been recorded on YouTube, I appreciate your subscriptions there as well. Again, hope you guys have a great day. Good luck with your own projects. Hopefully some ideas have popped into your head from some of the things that we saw today. Be sure to join us next week for another set of house tours. We will be going onto Dominion side if all things go well. Again, if you're interested in any of the tools that we use, other resources, other streamers that stream housing, we've got some tutorial links and things like that. Visit my Twitch channel page in the resources section and in the housing streamers section. You can get all the links there. Until then, have fun. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.